those two working together really beautifully.
On to Stephanie.
All right. So let me share my screen. And so let's see. So why does it not say, let's see.
Somebody wants to come in. I'm going to admit
Yeah, it's this
that.
No,
iPhone.
I let the one in, Laura, but iPhone hasn't responded back to me after I've asked numerous times. So don't let iPhone in.
Good. So here we go. So I call it, it fits what Jody said, rewiring, because it's really, we have to get on a totally different thinking pattern. So I looked up a couple of things for us. And as I said, the most important thing that I looked at was the major contacts of Uranus and then the eclipses. So I have 17 slides and 20 minutes, so let me just run off with it right now.
Okay.
So here are the major dates, and I hope you can see it, that you can see the whole screen because it's covering my face. I have the faces on my text. So hopefully for you guys, it's showing all.
Press escape and it'll shrink it down in your window.
Yeah, for everybody else, it's just,
Oh.
I'm fine. It's just that I want everybody else to see it. So the main dates, of course, tomorrow Uranus is going direct. And then the next interesting thing is the 17th of January. That is Uranus square Jupiter. So Jupiter big, Uranus chaos, and it is leading up to the inauguration date. So there will be a lot of turmoil. And I mean, we have the military out there and to begin with. So it's not an easy year, but a lot of opportunity, as I say. So I keep going. What it relates to when we look at when it happened last, Uranus. Wait, I'm at the 20th of January, so that is the inauguration date, and that is has happened already in February 2019, and that was when we had the first impeachment trials. We had the Brazil fire, then Brexit, and May stepping back because of the Brexit. China lands on the dark side of the moon, Notre Dame fire, and then this Japanese emperor stepped down, and the Hong Kong protest. So that's pretty much giving us a precursor of what we can expect with this. So next we have the Uranus square Saturn, and that's definitely the new ones to kick the old out of the way. So from the myth, we know the son eats the father, 17th of February. Then we have the sun in Aquarius in detriment, Mars in Taurus in detriment, and Mercury retrograde. So that's all not the best setup for people to make decisions, and heated minds and ego will be strong. 14th of June, the square will happen with Saturn retrograde, and then the 24th, the 3rd, when it comes back, the 3rd square with Mars in a conjunct the South Node. So I'm thinking of media, not the social media so much, but the regular media outlets, and then also Venus retrograde in Capricorn. Not too good of a placement, even though not in fall or detriment. So then the next is Uranus in T square with Mars in Leo, very like warrior, ego driven, and Saturn in Aquarius. So a lot of ego, head on head bumping, probably that I would see there. Then opposing Mars in Scorpio, so undercover mafia like aggression, definitely. And retrograde, Uranus retrograde again in the summer, and then I have to move the faces up here, and then we're staying in Taurus until 2025 or 26. So now just a little like a recap. We all know this. I don't know, maybe we have people that appreciate a little recap of the keywords. I have to move faces again here. So electricity, technology, computers, internet, science, experimentation, aviation, outer space, extraterrestrial events, astrology, genius, intuition, inventions, and I don't have to read it all because I have 20 minutes only. So I mean, pretty much all of us know, but there's a lot of outer space stuff happening already, and not everything has been told. I mean, we people have not been told all of the stuff that is taking place out in outer space, but I get there. So then the planets in Aquarius, of course, we had Saturn and Jupiter that just entered, and they stay Saturn until 2023, Jupiter until May this year, and then Pluto is going to enter in 2023. So misuse and challenges, and that's, I know it's hard tobacco, but I felt that this all wanted to come out. I have to say, you guys know I'm German. I mean, most of you guys know I'm German, so I have a little bit of a background story, and as we all know, history repeats itself, and we should probably learn from it. I have the feeling that we are not quite good with learning from history, so let me just run through this. Fixed air thinking can be stubborn, but we have to crack this. We have to crack out of our old thinking. That's why I call this rewiring. And so split Saturn separation, society, it's exactly what's taking place. Even good friends of mine, I have experienced that firsthand, that we have like two societies right now. And even it's not about Democrats and Republicans anymore. It's like among them, there are even they're ripping each other apart, or they're having their own little fights. So the other pitfalls: beware of isolation, extremism, or stubbornness. Of course, when we are comfortable, we don't want to change, and people in power don't want to do it, and also people that are too comfortable in their own life. And even though we have, I mean, we know, everyone knows that we have reached a point when our money system is not working anymore, and many things have to change. So we have to there's no way around it. If we don't change, we will be changed. So using psychology, we're still at the misuse. Using psychology for control and torture. Human experiments, and you can see that it is, for me, a little uneasy to say it, but I have to say it. Human experiments like MK Ultra, mind control in the 40s up to the 80s, and remote viewing, which it has been used in the FBI during the Cold War. It is kind of, you can see it as intuition, and they are working in a team to explore the enemies, whatever they have in arsenal or whatever. So it is a technique that people in the FBI have even used. So it's not a frou-frou or esoteric or thing that we should not have respect for. Probably in the US, you guys know about the Edgewood Arsenal human experiments, 1984. 48, I'm sorry, until like almost until the 80s. IG Farben is now Bayer, and Josef Mengele, maybe you know him. He's from the World War II. He came to the US. So it's all about harvesting experimentation on people. So this is a major problem. And I know that a lot of people find this uncomfortable. I find it almost uncomfortable to deliver this message, but I think everybody should at least hear it and do your own research. So fanatic, cruel inclinations, lack of empathy. There's Klaus Schwab, there's George Soros, the Gates, and the Clintons. Eugenics. Look it up for yourself. It's not that I'm saying that because I read it on a blogger's page or so. I've been doing this since pretty much 2010. I came first in contact with all these plans that have been in mind for us, that are planned for us. Transhumanism, that is nano tattoos and implantations in the brain, in the body. And I come to a little slide of that. Next, so we have to act responsibility. It is really cool what we can do with technology, with all this. I'm into energy medicine also, but how we use it, this is the main important thing in 2021 and beyond, based on healthy moral and healthy ethics. Next thing, rare earth metals. They are likely be harvested from outer space. So they had planned a trip to the moon, and they invested a lot of money in it, and but without big big reasoning. Why are we doing this? So people have been harvesting these a little bit in the US, but currently China has the monopoly. So that is something to look for, because a lot of technology devices need these rare earth metals to build them. So that has future also for investment. But here I use it with with the misuse and challenges, because countries may be competing unless we find a solution to regulate that in a nice way, in a just way. Geoengineering, whether as weapons. I mean, there are quite some people that talk about the 9/11 event, and that it was not necessarily an accident, that it was a planned thing. And there are a couple of they're pointing out a couple of things that are really making you think whether it was planned. Look it up for yourself. I'm just putting it out. I have been looking at this stuff for a long time. Geoengineering, you're blocking the sunlight, you're reflecting it, and so you're preventing the sunlight, the ultraviolet lights to hit the plants and our human bodies. So we need light to develop the vitamin D, for example, to have a good immune system. And I wonder, I mean, there was a Russian engineer who came up with it, or a scientist. He wanted to prevent global warming, but it is the thing, are we messing with nature or what? So Pluto in Aquarius, Laura mentioned it a little bit. And so last time it coincided with the American Revolution. So next one, Jupiter conjunct Saturn, also was in the year 2K. So we had this whole computer, like when they had the threat that everything comes down. Then we had the .com bubble and the Enron corporate fraud, and it was followed by the 9/11 event. Battle within, without. Whoopsie, now I have to jump back. So Saturn is the incarnated human, Uranus, the intuition and spirit. Science must be free from control by corporations and personal interest groups. There's so much happening, and it has been going into the universities and schools. It started pretty much in the 40s when, what's his name, Carnegie, when he said, hey, we are giving you money, but you don't mind having one of us in your board, so we just make sure that we have good things happening. And that's when pretty much the schools and the school system were infiltrated. And probably Christine will appreciate that, because medicine went pharma. And natural medicine is in the process of being rediscovered. So October, 5 planets turn direct, and I imagine that can be a rushed and turbulent time, and maybe more social unrest. Then the next one, let's see, I have to move this here. Let's see. So what does it say? It's covering, let's see. So Mars square Pluto. And that is also, I don't know who mentioned it, someone mentioned, I think Laura mentioned it, another like a violent indicator, 21st of October. So October can be turbulent and violent. So let me move on. Now I cannot move it on. Let's see. Okay. Faces here, current slide, and then arrow forward. Oops, so here we go. I don't think I have the time to play this video for you. So this is the World Economic Forum. We all know we need a new economic system, but they are playing with our liberty. So look it up for yourself. World Economic Forum, you'll own nothing and you will be happy. That's what they say. And see, it's jumping. Why is it jumping? This is the social in geoengineering. When they block the sunlight, they shoot out water, ocean water, into the atmosphere to create clouds. And so there are a couple of things. I just wanted to cut it, that topic. You just do your research for yourself. I think we're messing with nature, but I wanted to put this out. This is very interesting also. Holographic. I just play this real quick, just a second. So it's in a court, like in a classroom. Oops, let's see. I have to X out of that. And the other thing is holographic images. So is that helpful, or are we using it for fake news? So this is where I'm going back to, is you have to be like really responsible with what you're using, because there is definitely misuse with all this, and you should be super conscious about your sources. For some reason, my arrows are not moving. So maybe Richard, I don't know. Do you have a good idea why the arrow is not moving my slide forward?
What are you using?
Okay, so
There
I
it
don't know.
goes.
I'm clicking on the picture now, and then it is moving. I use the arrows on the keyboard.
If you have the latest update, you'll just have to click on
Yeah,
the picture,
now I
because
am,
that's
but
what it
I
does
don't
now.
know. It worked in the beginning. Right now it does. It works again. So
Yeah.
opportunities, and that's the shinier side that I really want to get to. But I had to go through this bumpy road of putting out the dangers of it. So we can break away from this outdated control system.
You're at 4 minutes and 50 seconds.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, liberation from control, automation to help. We are able to use our senses in a way better, in a better way, get rid of the victimhood, and use the intellect to question what's going on. We have to start questioning a new sense of purpose in the relationship, freedom, self-discipline. And if we are in charge of ourselves, there's nobody that has to take charge of us. And we are together so much stronger than as we are divided. Then the news has to change, because it has to be neutral. Progress in quantum physics, and as I said, space exploration, medicine, then we can be our own software coder. Many of us, I'm talking to a lot of people that are my parents' age or my mom's age. It's a programming that we have taken on for so long, and it is not working anymore. It has not served, and we know this, and we just have to make a change. It's inconvenient, but it has to be. Cooperation, interdependence, not independence, but interdependence. Sustainable forms of transportation. I think the airlines, they will have to find a different way of fueling themselves. Free speech, it has to be free speech. Right now, it's hardly possible for us to say anything. Scientific thinking, we have to be really like the Merlin, and be the hermit that is non-judgmental. Employee-based profit sharing instead of hierarchy. Urban farming, aqua farming, composting. And then invest in anything that is air element, like Zoom, Tesla, and invest in that or work for these companies. Then indigenous people can tell us a lot about how we work with the earth, and how we can feed ourselves in terms of food shortage. Then that's kind of relationship with the planet is kind of the same. Worst case scenario, I heard a lot of intuitives mentioning that they see abandoned cities. So in the worst case, if people don't want to change, they may just go into these controlled automated cities, and people who don't want to do this go off on the countryside and build green farms. Could be. It's who knows? Then going back to different forms of trading, tokens, maybe like on several farmers markets. New approach to education, super important. It cannot be that we raise consumers. Consumerism is a thing of the past. Money is important to live, but it is not so important that it should be that we should worship it. Rediscovery of astrological concepts in medicine, energy medicine. So Mercury, all in air, think, and that is a good, helpful thing. March to April, all planets direct. We have back in our sails. Then we all are itching to be liberated. But we had to see how it is to be locked down and to be so limited, and then in order to value it. the Magna Carta, getting rid of the let's say the,
Stephanie, you got a minute left.
I know, and I talk so fast already. So, okay, the eclipses, the May eclipse, and I get you guys the slides. So Mars in Cancer, not so happy. T-square with Jupiter and in Pisces, and Venus, Mercury conjunct the US Mars. So next, the June eclipse. Mercury retrograde, Mars opposition Pluto. It's like gunpowder. Sun, moon, so the lunation is conjunct the US Mars. Then the June eclipse, emphasis on fixity, Mars Scorpio opposition Uranus. Jupiter is square the lunation. Sun, moon, square the US moon. So the US moon, the people. Next, the December eclipse is conjunct the Mercury in Sag, not happy, and the US ascendant. So let's go further. So health, real quick. Health that I have to get across real quick. Keep frequency high. Think noble thoughts, gratitude, appreciation, love, compassion. Do breath work. Respiratory system is weakened. Parasympathetic nervous system. Beware of neurotic issues. Do yoga, Reiki, sports, heart, gardening. Watch your heart, spine, ankles, shins, and all the Saturn stuff. Saturn weak spots, then circulatory and vascular system, pituitary gland, and as I said, active work, cleaning, sports, and just head on. I had the ingress chart, and I can also send that out. I don't want to take too much time away from Eric. And the solar returns, I did not say that anyway, so I can send that out. So you have a little bit of a guideline, what to look for, what to hang on to. It is time for change, and we have to do it. So I think with that, I will just pass the mic to Eric.